All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Home to the cradle of basketball, the rise of football, and the greatest spectacle in racing. This is All Indiana Sports presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. The Fever avenged an earlier loss to Connecticut, moving above 500 for the first time since the third game of the season, and officially secured a spot in the Commissioner's Cup. But that's not what anyone is going to be remembering about this game. Let's discuss as we go all in.
That's correct. I'm Kevin. This is my wife, Alexis. So we're happy to present All Indiana Sports as part of the All In Sports and Rogue Media Sports Networks. Before we get into this game against the Sun, it was reported that the Fever game against the Liberty on Saturday had the highest ratings for a WNBA game ever with 20.9 million viewers. That's more than any game in the NBA Finals this year. How much of this do you think was due to Caitlin Clark effect, and how much was just because it was the New York market?
No, it has everything to do with the Caitlin Clark effect. I think that we need to stop like calling it just that. They were literally there to see Caitlin Clark, and I like what? How exciting! Like, and she did a great job. So why would they not want to come and see her?
Yeah, as we you can go back and check out our last Red episode on that one to see our breakdown on that, and Caitlin Clark's 7 threes, and most of them from around 30 feet.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we got to do the Caitlin update. Oh, I lost it. Hold on. Oh, it's coming. It'll be there in a second. It's just got to upload, and we got to do our Caitlin update.
Okay.
All right. For this game against the Sun, she went 4 for 6 from 3, while the entire Sun team was just 3 of 21.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yep. Sound effects are good.
Like...
talked about the incredible ratings. Yeah. How about the supporting cast for the Sun? How did they do?
Kelsey Mitchell added 17. Natasha Howard chipped in 16.
Yep.
Dantes had 13, and Lexi continued her top 3-point percentage, going 2 for 3. So,
yep. But this game will be known for largely what happened between the whistles.
Yeah.
Little overall breakdown. J.C. Sheldon, same draft class as Caitlin Clark, played against her.
I was going to say they
in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Iowa.
Known each other for years.
On them and on each other. Sheldon played really good defense. They had a really good game plan at the beginning. Double everything. Double. Make sure that she can't get any space on the outside.
I was actually concerned about that whenever I first started seeing that. I was like,
but you mentioned.
Yeah, I think they adjusted really, really well to it, though, because Caitlin was like, fine, that's totally fine. You're just opening up other space for me to be able to pass this ball. Yep. And with the dangerous passer that she is, that's exactly what happened. They were like, oh, we got to cover her because she's going to drop these threes. But what they forgot to think of is the incredible passer that she is and how that she allows people space so that she is able to pass the ball incredibly accurately. So.
Yep. And you also said that the Sun were gonna tire out.
Yeah, I did. I said they can't keep up the pace. There's no way. For a minute there, I was like watching them. I was like, if they can keep up this pace, we've got a problem. But then I started kind of see their faces wear a little bit, and I was like, they're not gonna be able to keep up. So
that's. But then the defense got a little too tough as things got a little tired, and there were some moments throughout the game where Sheldon got a little aggressive, and then one time she swiped across the face.
Yeah.
It got called a foul, and then Sheldon's teammate Marina Mabrey didn't appreciate Caitlin Clark. Now, I have my own theory about this.
You do?
I believe that Marina Mabrey might dislike Caitlin Clark even more than Angel Reese does, or Brittany Griner.
Oh, yeah.
Simply because I feel like she feels threatened as someone who is also, let's just call it what it is. She's another white girl who can shoot a deep three.
Yeah, yeah.
And so she feels threatened in her own different way than some of the other people who have been advocating for it. It's not just Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
As the transition and the growth of the WNBA in such a fashion.
Yeah.
So Marina Mabrey decided to come and
Check.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
give a shoulder check.
Oh, it was more than, I mean, like, it was a straight on, like,
Chest bump.
oh, yeah. It was, I was, when all it was happening at the beginning, you know, with Sheldon and everything, I was like, okay. And then she came along and just, I was dumbfounded.
Yep. Even more so because, I mean, the announcers, you know, everything like that, they were all like, surely she's going to get ejected, right? She's going to get thrown out. And it didn't happen. There were technicals against both Sheldon and Mabrey and Caitlin Clark, who didn't do anything to escalate whatsoever.
Well,
unless
I mean,
there
like,
was something said.
I was gonna say she gets mouthy, and
yeah,
I like that. I get that. Like, I totally get that. But like, before all of those calls even happened, I think what frustrated me the most is that these are grown women acting this way, and you can play really incredible sports and have really competitive, and like you can hate people on the field and like, you know, court, whatever it is, and then like it's fine.
Like Stewie and Caitlin.
Yeah. I think there's healthy competition, and there are going to be times that you play people that you don't like, and I get that. But I think for somebody out of respect of the sport, it's bigger than just these players. Remember, we're talking about the sport and what we're doing for the sport. You're representing a sport, and you're representing your teams and things like that. And I just feel like these women did not carry themselves well, and they didn't mature. The maturity was not there that I was hoping that I would have been able to see.
And as it was brought up at some point during the broadcast, you have all these girls that are going and watching this game for Caitlin Clark. And then this kind of thing happens. It doesn't endear Marina Mabrey to those girls.
Right.
Those girls now have an enemy
to
make out of Mabrey. And I don't know that is where anyone in a sport would really like to be be honest. Would they say they would like to play the villain? I don't know that that's really true.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then so Mabrey stayed in the game.
Yeah.
She stayed in the
I mean, that was
lineup.
Didn't
even go back to the bench.
He, like, their coach, he left everybody in the game that was a part of the incident, and I feel like that was really ballsy.
I think that was not a wise decision. I think that it was very tongue in cheek. And
he didn't care.
It was like not a good move.
No, I don't think. I think
not
it was
good gamesmanship.
No, I think it was really disrespectful to.
But
do
I
that.
said
I wouldn't. I'm not putting it past him to do things.
Who
like that,
who did I call was going to come after Mabrey, or I was going to?
I don't know who did.
Yeah, who did? Okay.
It was me.
Okay.
I called it first.
Later in the game.
I called it first.
Now, mind you, at that point, anytime JC Sheldon or Marina Mabrey touched the ball, there was a choral work of Marina Mabrey gets it, and
they're booing,
and JC Sheldon gets it, and
they're booing.
It's just, I mean, it's part of being in the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's the right you have as a fan who paying the ticket.
Yeah.
You can voice that kind of frustration. And they didn't let up at all. And at one point, late in the game, very, very late in the game, less than a minute left, JC Sheldon got a breakaway. And lo and behold, who was there?
Sophie Cunningham.
That we called.
Oh, I called it. I was like, don't don't cross this girl. Like, she looks all cute and sweet and everything, but don't
she
cross
was
a girl
brought
like that.
in because of her feistiness,
Yeah.
because of how she sticks up for her teammates. She did so.
Yeah, she did.
She had a hard foul.
Yeah. Worthy foul.
It was a breakaway.
Oh, yeah.
And you were trying to make sure that they don't get the shot off for the 3-point play, even though you're up by 20 or whatever it was.
It wasn't,
at
that was not what was happening at that point. It was principle.
It was
complete
the principle. It was
principle for her teammate.
Sophie Cunningham sticking up for her teammate, and the wheel, the spoke of the wheel of the hub of the wheel and the spoke.
Just leave it.
The center of the team, the star of the team, sticking up for her, and that resulted in a bit of a hockey, rugby kind of scrum kind of thing.
Yeah, she lost a tooth last game to this team, so why would she not
So at that point, then you had Sophie Cunningham getting direct ejection, which I don't agree with.
I know. Absolutely not.
And then Sheldon getting her second technical, and then another Sun player involved in the aftermath. Getting tech. So,
well,
that's the breakdown of what happened.
But let's go back and let's talk about the reffing. When the first incident happened, what did I say?
You lost control of the game.
I said you lost control of the game, and here's what happened: is those refs allowed that type of play to happen. That just opens up the rest of the game to say, "Do you see what I got away with? I'm going to be able to get away with other things too." And that's exactly what I said. That's a dangerous game. That is a unsafe game for players to be a part of, because it allows for the other team to make some really nasty maybe decisions and be a little bit more flagrant than they should.
Your responsibility as a referee is to make sure that there is a level playing field. As much as possible.
I was hoping
in making sure that calls are called evenly on both sides and consistently.
So I was hoping when the next thing happened that they would, go, okay, we're not gonna.
But even more than that, the higher standard is to keep the players safe. And when you allow things like that to happen, it is no longer a safe place. To the point where post game, there were a few shaking of hands, but Caitlin Clark was not shaking hands. She was motioning for her team. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Not because they didn't want to, I don't think.
No, it's just because I don't think it was not a wise thing to do.
Like,
too much chitter chatter can happen that way, and
no longer a safe place to do that.
And that's the time whenever you give that 24 hours or whatever before you say anything to that person or post anything or tweet anything or not tweet anything, whatever it is,
Even more difficult because Stephanie White spent 2 years with many of these players on the Connecticut Sun, and after all of this,
I'm sure she's disappointed.
She has to go over there. And I'm sure she knows exactly the type of player that Marina Mabrey is. For better and for worse. And so that's kind of how it went. Any other thoughts that you have on the game in general? How it all went down, how it transpired?
I saw really early on that they were pretty chippy with each other. It was a fun, I'm like, honestly, the first half was a lot of fun to watch. It was chippy. It was really competitive. The refs were letting play happen, but not inappropriately. But I thought it was a lot of fun to watch until it wasn't fun to watch. And then I was a little concerned about what was happening with the game.
Right.
So,
because as we mentioned, and as you said during the bad part, is that no one's going to talk about the game. We don't even care about the score anymore. It is simply about what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is unfortunate because we're there to watch a game.
Yep.
We want to watch a game. Now, all of these things make it more interesting for folks like us to just talk about it.
Right.
But when you're trying to grow a game, grow a sport, and you're at this critical juncture, this is not necessarily the type of good press that you want surrounding an up-and-coming, trying to blossom league.
Well, and I think that for me, whenever I saw all of this happening, as a Caitlin sitting there, watching things, I did see on the sideline at one point in time, she just looked concerned. And I just hope that she's I think she really is a strong, very strong woman, but you can only handle so much. And there comes a point when you question.
Why am I doing this?
Yeah, why am I doing this? And why am I doing this to my teammates? Because it's not just about her now. Yeah. She has a whole team that's sticking up for her, and that team is a pretty strong team. And that was my thinking. But then, whenever all of that happened, my concern was, pretty. It went away. It washed it away really quickly whenever Caitlin hit that 3 and just.
Oh yes, forgot to mention that in the middle.
How do you like that?
She buried a 3.
Yeah, she did. Right on this
Sheldon
side.
Right in her face.
Well,
and looked at the
coach
entire
and
bench.
The whole bench.
You like that?
How do you like that?
She pulled a Kirk Cousins and said, "You like that?"
Yeah.
Here we go.
I
hope awesome. You like that. That's on Thursday, with the Pacers needing to win Game 6 to stay alive in the finals and force Game 7 probably without Tyrese Halliburton. Then we'll be back on Friday as the Fever take on the brand new Golden State Valkyries, and Caitlin Clark goes up against an old friend in Kate Martin.
That'll be fun. This is Alexis.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all Indiana.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.